From Hawthorn Lanes in Vernon Hills, Illinois, minutes from Chicago. ESPN's live coverage of the PBA Tour continues with a Miller High Life Open. The drama continues as well as our final 5 bowlers compete for next year's all-exempt field. First from Tarrytown, New York, he has one career title and finished last season ranked 15th in the PBA World Rankings. It's Patrick Allen. Making his second consecutive TV appearance. He has 2 career major titles from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Tampere, Finland, Mika Koivuniemi. From Cincinnati, Ohio, he's making his first finals appearance since the fall of 2001. They call him the Chief, Brian Himmler. He has 29 career titles, 2 PBA Player of the Year awards, a member of the PBA Hall of Fame from Jackson, New Jersey, Parker Bohn III. And from Amarillo, Texas, he finished 3rd last week in Kansas City. Looks for his 2nd career championship today, Mike Scroggins. That is our final 5 here in Chicagoland this afternoon. Welcome everyone, Dave, Ryan, Randy, Peterson, our great
Stick
crew.
1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
And the wild
6, 7,
card
8, 9, 10. Yeah, let me turn this up. Hang on.
Last week in Kansas City takes on the first of our 3 lefties,
1, 2, 3,
Patrick Allen. Semifinal number 1 pits Brian Himmler looking for his 2nd career title against Parker Bohn III looking for his 3rd. Mike Scroggins, in his 2nd consecutive TV appearance, waits for the wild card winner in semi number 2.
We are set to go from Chicagoland as the wild card match underway in moments. The left-hander Patrick Allen in his first TV show of the year. 10th ranked on the tour points list, with a 1 championship, 35 tournaments and counting without a title, with a guy they call PA, and he'll try to get started in style in Vernon Hills. The lefty has 3 standing.
Patrick Allen going through the nose, leaving the 2-4-7. Goes to a plastic spare ball, something that doesn't hook. Said he tried some things over the summer, Dave. Tried to change his game, always trying to improve. None of it worked. Said he went back to the old PA because he knows that'll hold up under pressure.
Picks up a spare nicely. Now a tremendous 3-game series here in Vernon Hills, setting a house record. He was absolutely on fire with a 9-match win streak in match play. A 9-game win streak after trailing Del Ballard Jr. and eventually lost in the round of 8. He's the wild card, and he faces the Big Finn, Mika Koivuniemi. Back-to-back shows for Big Mika. Not the start he wanted.
It's funny, we talked to Mika last night, and you kind of giggled at my question to him, and I asked him, I said, if you had to go back to Finland, what would you miss most about the United States? His response? Easy to find good food here.
Especially here in Vernon Hills. Tons of restaurants right around the center. He is the leader in tour points. More than 46,000. And he covers. We heard some finish there, and we'll define it this week. We've got some finish definition for you. Baby Ruth, real deal matchup, Randy.
Yeah, the 2 things that really stand out. Number 1, the strike percentage, and number 2, the spare conversion percentage, and they're both related. This is our highest scoring pattern of the year. When you throw a lot of strikes, you're not going to shoot as many spares.
Score early on. 7 spare for each. Second frame, Mika Koivuniemi. Some of the words you may hear. Latte nut, which means carry now. That is a flush strike. They win things like kiss stop for hold.
Excuse me, Dave. And when you throw it there, it's going to carry. Notice how all 10 pins go off the deck at the same time.
Maybe Kia for hurry up. For that one, it's got to be Huva Heito. Good shot and finish. We're learning as we go. Back to Patrick Allen. That's got to hurt. Tough split.
Ball just doesn't get up to the head pin. Left himself the 3-7. He's got to get the ball to the right side. Over here, drive the 3-pin into the 7. Goes to his spare ball. He's going to throw it straight and hard. Try to get it to the right side of that pin.
Looks for his first split conversion of the week. 3-7. 3 first. 7 goes. Off the back of the return. And Patrick wants a reaction. Gets it from the great crowd here in Vernon Hills today.
Watch the 3-pin go to the back of the pin. It comes back out. The head of that pin trips the 7 out, and that's a huge break, avoiding an open frame.
In our meetings, Randy, with him last night, Patrick very upset at himself for blowing a 3-0 lead, round of 8 against Brian Himmler, who made the show, obviously, in that round of 8 victory. Patrick became the wild card. His emotions were interesting to watch last night. He was not pleased at all that he gave up the 3-0 lead. Perfect ball. We talked about that 9-game win streak in match play. These are all best of 7 folks this year on the PBA Tour. 4-0 over Jason Couch, including a 300 game, one of 6 300 games we had this week at Vernon Hills. But the Himmler match, he was up 3-0, and then something interesting happened with a little handshake from Himmler.
Well, in the 10th frame of that game, Patrick Allen got the first hit in the 10th frame. Brian thought the match was out of reach, went up to shake his hand, but the match wasn't over. You just heard him say it, Dave.
Latte. Latte Newt means carry now. Matches this week so far for Mika. Back-to-back shows. Is he ever hot? After the back-to-back strikes, he's got a 12-pin lead now. Tim Mack just turning pro this week. Very interesting story. A 5-game victory for Mika in the round of 8.
Yeah, that was another great match to watch. A lot of hooting and hollering going on. Tim Mack ended up losing that match because of missed spares. And Mika let him know about it. Mika says on the PBA Tour, we don't miss spares.
Perfect ball. In any language. 10 down in the pit and a 22-pin lead for Mika Koivuniemi. He's pointing to his family. His wife is here, Leah, and his daughter, Ida, 10 years old. They have never seen him bowl live on TV before. And there they are, all the way from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Look how cute.
Ida, who just spoke in front of the mayor of Ann Arbor. She read an essay she wrote for a class project. She was telling us before how proud she was of that moment. Quite an accomplishment, and that's an accomplishment as well for PA. He is in the zone and in the pocket.
This ball is perfect. Gets it out to about the 3rd board. There's friction out there that makes the ball go right. Getting back to that Brian Himmler, Patrick Allen match. Patrick Allen could have closed out the match with just a spare after he struck the first ball. Brian Himmler puts his hand out. Patrick Allen pushes his hand away, goes up and splits. Ends up losing that game, and Brian Himmler comes back and wins the next 3 to win the match.
Turkey ball here puts him down. 2 pins, 3rd straight strike.
Look out!
Got it! Oh, late help! Unbelievable. 2-4-7, down you go.
Well, you saw him get the great break when he shot the split. Watch this. It's like dominoes. 2 into the 4, 4 into the 7, and instead of being a double and 7 spare, it's 3 in a row. After 5 frames, all the breaks in the Allen camp.
4-bag attempt here for Koivuniemi. Strike puts him up 12 pins. Got it. Blisters the rack again. Mika Koivuniemi is red hot. And he's got that lengthy launch down the lane. He really lofts that ball. Strike percentage here at the Miller High Life Open in Chicagoland. Parker Bohn III, we're to see him coming up in a semifinal. The best so far. Season average of just 57.9.
Cross next to Parker the first 9 games of qualifying, and he really lit him up.
Major Mika, they call him. He's won 2 tournaments. Both have been majors. Looking for another strike. He's got it. 5-bagger Mika Koivuniemi. And the lead expands to 22 pins for him. We are in the wild card. We conclude that when we come back to Vernon Hills, Illinois, outside Chicago. In any language, Koivuniemi is red hot. The same goes for Patrick Allen, bidding for another title. Today's live coverage of the PBA Miller High Life Open is brought to you by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. By Cambridge Credit Counseling. Log on to nodebt.com and find out how good it feels to be debt-free. And by Bear Aspirin. Take it for pain. Take it for life. Beautiful Navy Pier just outside downtown Chicago, Illinois. We're in Chicagoland, Vernon Hills. Very good wild card matchup so far. Welcome back, everyone. PBA live coverage on ESPN. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson with our great crew. Last year, very frustrating, certainly for the Hall of Famer Parker Bohn III. No titles for him. He's won 29 in his career. So he really set out to make some changes and did that in the offseason. And adjustments recently as well.
Well, he really did. He went through a big grip change, and he went overseas, bowled in Japan. He said he bowled well, but the biggest change that he made was he went to a cork insert in his thumb hole. Had trouble with his grip, had trouble with the feel of his thumb, tried it for the first time, and he said he likes it, but there's still an adjustment period. You know, the cork insert has adhesive on the back, and it's constantly moving on him. So one of the things he said we might see today is him constantly fiddling with that cork insert.
And extra practice. When he got here Tuesday night, about 2 hours of practice after the center had closed down. They opened it especially for Parker Bohn III, and all that certainly paid off. On pattern A, he's been brilliant all week.
Yeah, like 60 games of practice in the last 3 days when he got here, and this is what he did on pattern A. Mika Koivuniemi, you see him playing the exact same line he played last week. Straight from out. Brian Himmler, you'll see him a little bit deeper. He's got more hand and more revs. He's going to be left of Mika. 3 left-handers on the telecast. Very unusual. Parker Bohn III and Patrick Allen are going to play similar lines. Mike Scroggins will use the Mika formula, piping it from out. But keep in mind, 37 feet, a lot of friction down the lane, and this is our highest scoring pattern to date.
For much more on those lane patterns and all the information you can need, log on www.pba.com. The best bowling website. Now Patrick Allen, 6th frame, down 22. Remember, Mika has the 5-bagger in effect. PA goes for the 4-bagger. Got it.
And a great camera angle there. You see the ball going to the left. It reads the friction and starts to migrate back towards the pocket. Ball goes left out of his hand. About the 3rd or 4th board. It's going to go left from here. Or excuse me, right from here. But left on the TV.
Both bowlers, you can see, red hot. Chance here to be down by 2 pins with another strike. I told you that's a great week. 7-pin.
It's absolutely freaking terrible. Absolutely terrible.
You heard Patrick say
on the show before.
Got it off his hand poorly, and that's why the ball hung.
Mika Koivuniemi looking for his 3rd career title, the leader in the points race right now. It's a march to the PBA World Championship just outside Detroit in March. Top 8 automatically get into match play in that huge event to wrap up our season. Look out, the 7-pin, he missed it. An open frame for Patrick Allen.
Patrick Allen's having some serious issues right now, and I think it's all mental. That's a mental mistake. Patrick Allen doesn't miss single pin spares. That one just gets away from him. He knew it as soon as he let it go.
Last night in his round of 8 match, his opponent, Tim Mack, looking for help. Messenger, no, a 10-pin stand. When Tim Mack missed a 10-pin, Mika then followed up with a 10-pin, which he's got right now, and then demonstratively showed Tim Mack, hey, that's how you do it on the PBA Tour. Similar circumstances here, possibly.
You know, I talked about that last night with Del Ballard, and Del Ballard said, Mack just got macked. Mika kind of turned the tables on Tim Mack and got, or tried to get in his dome. But as you can see from that graphic, these guys,
oh my.
Well, they're not supposed to miss. We just saw back-to-back misses.
Can you believe it? After what happened last night involving the 10-pin in the round of 8.
Unbelievable. Timmy Mack, I take back everything I just said.
Mika gives the gift right back to Patrick Allen, who, if you heard closely enough, all the way back in his native New York, probably. Sigh of relief. Does that ever change things?
I can't remember the last time I saw 2 professionals miss back-to-back single-pin spares on the telecast.
That's how you respond. Shreds the rack. Flush strike.
Well, let's see if PA can recover as well as Mika just did.
Down 12. Does he have the response? Pressure's on. Patrick Allen. Not what he wanted. 4 and the 6-10 split remaining.
Real issues. This ball never got far enough to the left. He's just not throwing it well. Patrick Allen will be the first one to tell you he's not throwing it well.
Got to really spray that across for the 4. Can't get it. Another open frame. Back-to-back open for Patrick Allen. He told us last night he'll have to respond to the challenge of the all-exempt 64-man field next year. He would like to see the number higher, but to him it is the ultimate challenge. In his losses, the number way down. We'll talk about that incredible win streak this week, but it's been topsy-turvy.
Yeah, it's been all or nothing, really. When he won, he was a monster, and when he lost, you know, anybody could take him down. Almost 40 pins a game higher average when he was winning matches. But right now, Patrick Allen can strike out for 224. Mika Koivuniemi is going at a 227 pace. And watch this disgusted reaction. That was on a strike.
Second time in his career that Mika has been on back-to-back shows. Last time it happened the year 2000. ABC Masters, and then Wichita the next week. Perfect ball again.
Here it comes. Same kind of deal on the right side. Ball gets to that friction area. Now it's going to go to the right. And that ball's dead flush. But Mika's doing exactly what he told me last night. He's back to last year. He said he tried to be all-world, tried to do a little bit of everything. He said, Randy, this year I'm doing what Mika does best, hard and straight.
All he needs is a mark to advance on to the semifinals. He made the finals last week, lost to Norm Duke in Kansas City. That does it. Hubahito, is that what he said? He's the winner.
One of the things that I really like about players that go really straight, Dave Ferraro, Tony Westlake, Mika Koivuniemi, when they need a hit, it's the high, hard one. That had extra loft so the ball would hold line.
His average last year, 30th, 214.99. This year, as we said, points, he's number 1. Round of 32. 2 straight shows. There's another strike. And now at least into the semifinals. We told us last night a real challenge to make that all-exempt field. Coming up, our next match, Himmler and Parker Bohn III. Parker did not win a tour title last year. Himmler has gone a long time, 90-plus matches, tournaments, without a tour victory. 7-pin there, fast tracking since the match is over.
Parker didn't win last year, and Brian Himmler didn't make a show last year. This put Mika in the 250s, 257 to be exact.
Parker Bohn III and Himmler have never faced each other on TV. It'll be the first time coming up in our other semifinal. Patrick Allen's week will end right here. Mika Koivuniemi. Another big finish for the Big Finn.
Only when it's out of the wood.
He continues to stay red hot. A big turnaround from last year where Mika made one TV show and lost the U.S. Open in Fountain Valley, California. That was it. Lost his one TV match. And now he's in the semis again. When we come back, we'll talk about the legendary Mike Albee. He announced his retirement recently. Smiles for Mika Koivuniemi. Who will he take on? We'll find out. Brian Himmler, the Chief, is back on TV. He's going against the Hall of Fame legend, Parker Bohn III. In 1984 at the Brunswick Memorial World Open from Glendale Heights, Illinois, Mike Albee made his way past Marshall Holman in the semifinals to get the championship match where he took on and beat Gary Skidmore to win the title. The next year, Albee qualified as a tournament leader and would defend his title. This time beating Tom Baker in the championship match. It was the last of Albee's 6 titles that year and helped him clinch Player of the Year honors. What a career for Mike Albee, the 37 titles and 10 majors. Parker Bohn III, you've won 29 career titles. A bid for your 30th here starts this afternoon. Reddy and I a moment ago spoke about your emotions of not winning last year. How difficult was that for you?
Well, you know, it's a little rough not winning at all last year after the couple years I had previous. But the way I look at it, last year's behind us, this year's a new year. I'm here today. I'm going to win 2 matches and take the title.
Reddy's confident. Best of luck.
Lots of confidence there, but, you know, he should have a lot of confidence. 29 titles, all the experience. Second best left-hander to ever play this game. And certainly top 5, in my opinion, all time. But he's going to go up against the guy in Brian Himmler, who is probably the hungriest player I've seen in quite some time. Very disappointed with his season last year, and he's on a mission. And it showed the last two tournaments out here where he made the top 32 both weeks. And last year, Dave Ryan just missing the show.
He has been red hot. Spoke to him last week after making that round of 8 in Kansas City. Really feels his game has come around. More of a straight-on approach, too, for him. Now to a lefty with 29 titles, as we mentioned. Hall of Fame status. Trying to prove that. Great start. Parker Bohn III. The big real-deal matchup, Bohn and Himmler.
You see the difference in average right here, 10 pins a game and the spare conversion. The reason why Brian Himmler went to a Game 7 in all of 3 matches that he participated in. He struggled early on with the lane conditions. When the lanes broke down, he was at his best. He bowled a maximum number of games this week.
Parker, Justin born April 18th with him. And a good ball for him. Justin is in the baby room right now with Uncle Doug Kent.
Uncle Dougie.
He is watching a baby.
Beautiful profile of a game that has not only withstood time, but pressure as well. He just looks the same year in and year out.
Back to the Chief from Cincinnati, Ohio. A lot of power behind the ball of Brian Himmler, who's been a PBA member since 1992.
Trailed Devaney 0-3, came back and won that. Was down to Tommy DeLutz when they went to Game 7. He bowled 300. And we already talked about the Patrick Allen match.
Brian's response, it was not gamesmanship when he put his hand up, despite the fact the match wasn't over. He was down 0-3 at that point. He said, hey, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. In the pocket again. And that stems from an incident with Patrick Allen a couple years ago at the U.S. Open.
Take a look at Brian Himmler's eyes. It's on his target, and then right at release, watch where they go. Down at the floor.
Perfect start for Reach. Looks for the turkey. He's got it. We are even. 3 straight strikes to start the match. The semifinals. Live coverage of the PBA Tour continues here on ESPN. Randy's using the black ball, the time zone ball, different than his other.
Yeah, it's a little bit smoother reacting, a little less reacting. It gives him nice backhand reaction, except on that shot.
7-10, dreaded split.
In my opinion, this is the worst break a bowler faces because this ball is thrown well enough to strike, but instead of getting 9 spare, you're left with 8-1. You're left with an open frame. You make a good shot, and you're penalized.
Just 3 all-time on TV. The number doesn't change now. 10 stands an open frame after the perfect start for each through 3. We're coming to you from Vernon Hills, Illinois, outside Chicago. Hawthorn Lanes, beautiful 40-lane center, hosting the Miller High Life Open for a 2nd straight year. It's also hosted many regional events and senior events as well. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, our entire crew. The live coverage continues. Rev rate, power. Perfect result for Himler. Next week, we head to the Eastern Time Zone for the first time this year. Pepsi Open, Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern Time here on ESPN. As PBA hits tour stop number 4 en route to the World Championship. And, of course, the TOC in December. All bowlers trying to get into that field as well. If they win, they're into the all-exempt 64-man field for next year. The pressure and drama will really crank up as the tour rolls on later into the season. Absolutely blisters. 10 into the pit. Brian Himmler.
The reason why Brian Himmler's eyes go to the floor when he lets go of it, he's trying to get the ball off his hand quick to get it rolling. He's using a mild reactive ball with a very stable drilling so he can stay right and stay in that dry and throw it hard. We talked about it last week. The difference between Brian Himmler now and Brian Himmler of old is the ability to go straighter.
Parker Bohn knows he got a break.
That was the old trip 379. What a huge break. But you know what? He deserves it. He got a terrible break the frame before. Look at that.
Match play record in his career. Outstanding. You see the average this week. Wow, 245.6. His wife Leslie has been here to see it all. Big strike. Lane level look at it for Parker Bohn III. When we return, we'll find out how other bowlers have fared this week in match play. And the conclusion of this exciting semifinal. We know Mika Koivuniemi is through. Who will survive this match? Brian Himmler has been red hot with a 5-bagger to start against... Welcome back, everyone, to the Miller High Life Open, Vernon Hills, Illinois. We're midway through this semifinal number 1. Brian Himmler taking on Hall of Famer Parker Bohn III. Himmler's approach a bit different than most on the PBA Tour. Randy breaks it down in this week's Dexter approach.
Brian Himmler with a 5-step approach and being a power player is a bit unusual. He gets the ball down into the swing early, and what that does is it really gets his feet to travel really fast. Watch this. In the second step, the ball is straight down here. Normally in a 5-step approach, it's about right there. It gets his feet moving, but look at the beautiful cup position and his hand on the inside part of the bowling ball at the top of the swing. Now what he wants to do here is get that swing to travel underneath the right shoulder. This puts him in a perfect leverage position to create all that power at the bottom of the swing.
This week's Dexter approach. 5-bagger to begin the match for Brian Himmler. Strike here, he's up 34 pins. He did have a 300 game this week here in Chicago, round of 16 against Tommy DeLutz Jr. Great look at the approach. Can he keep it going? Nope. Oh, almost took the 4 out. Last second, that just stayed up.
That pin got in between the 4-7 and he almost got a strike. You know, Brian Himmler's also made a grip change, and this is why he's been so effective the last couple of weeks, Dave, at playing outside. Just shortened his span a pinch, and then he pitched his thumb more forward, more towards the center of the ball.
Oh, shit.
Picks up the 4-pin, didn't like the release. He was a little nervous. His parents, Brad and Kathy, are in the stands today. His girlfriend, Julie Hoinke, also here today. And Brian wanted to make sure we got a big shout out for the folks at his home center, Cherry Grove, near Cincinnati. The Chief, they call him, because he tells us he always seems to be the leader of the pack, telling everyone where to go, top restaurants, golf courses, just sort of the guy people look to, right?
A tour guide.
Something like that.
Oh, that was perfect.
You got that right, Brian. Dead flush, 10 in the pit. Looks 6 of 7 balls. He's got a strike.
Looks like he missed the first one a little bit on the right lane. This one he caught all of.
Oh, that was perfect.
Indeed.
Strike here for Parker Bohn, down 13 pins. Got it. And Brian Himmler is a big golfer, as are you, Ren. A lot of guys on the tour. Speaking of that, this afternoon on ABC Sports, don't miss Tiger Woods looking for his 6th win of the season in a tight race for Player of the Year. Final on action at the Walt Disney Resort today at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC Sports.
Scott Burr playing 3 rounds of 66. That's all. 6 under times 3, 18 under. Vijay Singh tied for the lead, trying to overtake the tour's money lead and dethrone Tiger Woods.
Parker's wife, Leslie. His baby, Justin, is being watched by Uncle Doug. Doug Kent in the back room here. Justin was born in April. We saw him before the show today. What a cutie Justin is. A lot of hair. Looks like Parker, just like him.
So cute.
Strike here is down 3. That was a shot clock violation, and Parker told us last night that might happen because of all the adjustments he's made with a cork in his thumb hole. 7-pin there.
Rebounded and made a great shot. The first violation's $100. Everyone after that is $500. Beautiful stroke. He knows it's good. One of the issues this week was it wasn't all that difficult to get to the pocket, but the carry.
Look out.
Unbelievable.
Just as we showed you, he had the perfect single pin conversion numbers.
Do that.
He whiffs on the 7-pin.
I mean, these guys just don't do this. It's 2 7-pin whiffs and a 10-pin whiff.
The man who's won 29 titles, $2.3 million in his career, 500 PBA events, has been through the ringer before. He'll have to respond now, especially with the Chief bowling so well. A 2nd straight strike.
Brian Himmler can strike out for 279. The best Parker Bohn III can do is 233. Brian in complete control. We talked about his matches throughout the week, all going 7 games. I asked him how he got through it. He says, simple, patience and guts. That's why Brian is doing what he's doing now.
He's in support of the all-exempt field for next year. Get some help.
Did you see that?
Head pin goes down last. He'll gladly take it. A third in a row. Foundation frame ball.
The concentration on Brian Himmler's face. This ball's light. And what a huge break, tripping the 2-pin.
This is Parker. 6-pin stands for him. Want to make sure we said hello to his sons watching today in Nashville, Tennessee.
To think I had a shot clock violation for that other frame.
Parker is 14 years old, and Evan, who's 11. We heard him mentioning the shot clock violation from before.
Jesus Christmas.
Missed another. Unbelievable.
Jeez, I was afraid it was going to happen.
Well, Brian Himmler's your winner, and you'll never see Parker Bohn III do that again. I'm really speechless, Dave Brown. I really don't know how to respond to that. It's something that you just don't see out of guys of this caliber. I mean, Parker Bohn III, a future Hall of Famer. You just don't see that.
Already in the Hall of Fame. There's 10 down in the pit, but it's way too late. He has lost this match to the Chief Brian Himmler. This will be fast track to the end. Remember, first show after 33 without for Himmler today. He's gone 93 events without a win on tour. And now he's in the finals. Mike Scroggins, Mika Koivuniemi to follow. Himmler will bowl the winner in the championship match for a shot at a title and the auto exemption in the 64-man field for next year. 4-pin. It has been a long time. 99 in Albuquerque since he's won. There'll be some questions for Parker Bohn after he opens.
Still looks to me like there may be some issues with his grip. He's losing it at the bottom of the swing. Doesn't look like it's quite right yet, but he'll work it out.
Parker Bohn III had lunch with Doug Kent, who's watching his baby right now, and wife Leslie early in the week. Looked up at that top 100 board that was posted here in Vernon Hills. Big strike again there. Didn't see his name on the list. Doug Kent said that might change after a good week, and it was a very good week for Parker Bohn III, but he comes up short against the brilliance of Brian Himmler. He is into the finals. Blistering the rack time and time again, and good reason to be confident. Pointing toward the championship match. More to come. Today's live coverage of the PBA Miller High Life Open is brought to you by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly, this is the High Life. New Odor Eaters Plus, the only arch-supporting insole that protects against odor and wetness. And by Geico, a 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Welcome back, everyone. Hawthorn Lanes, ESPN's live coverage of the PBA Miller High Life Open. Ryan Voss has started this season bowling very well. Hasn't made a show yet, but he's currently second in tour average. Our Miller milestone takes you back to week 3 of last season, Memphis, Tennessee, where Voss was boss.
Brian and I, we've been going at it for a long time. He's been out, of course, longer than me, but ever since the early 90s, I don't think I've ever beaten him on TV. And although that wasn't directly in the back of my head, I mean, at that point in time of that show, I had to do what I had to do because I knew he's one of the best in the clutch.
The best.
The best.
Thank you.
Okay.
True to win, brother.
I want to know what I got to do. It's just that simple. So whether he said it or not, shoot, I knew I needed 2 strikes.
True to win.
Verbal challenge to the legend. Will the Hall of Famer respond? There's one. He's got it!
He probably won't do that again in the same
Probably
situation.
won't do that
try
again.
something else next time.
Yeah, I'll try something
Nothing
else.
works, does it?
Nothing works. It
Not
doesn't
against me.
matter.
Nothing works.
Nothing. We know that.
You know, when you lose to the best that wins the shots, and you deserve it, brother. You deserve your earnings.
The things I said to Brian, I knew, with his children there, for him to do what he did, it's a very special moment in his life. You don't know if that's ever going to happen again. He made the best shots that he could possibly make to win. And I applauded him for that, and I congratulated him, and it was unbelievable. It was awesome. And it made for great TV.
Well, Miller High Life milestones for this week. What an emotionally charged atmosphere that was with Brian Voss's sons watching in person in Memphis, Tennessee last year. Danny Wiseman would rebound well. We'll take a look back at his victory at Vernon Hills coming up. Mika Koivuniemi is getting set to take on Mike Scroggins, a rematch last week. He beat him 216 to 181 and finished second to Norm Duke in the Greater Kansas City Classic. Mike Scroggins, another lefty, one of our 3 left-handers in the show today. Try to get some revenge head-to-head with Mika Koivuniemi in a semi when we come back. Last year at Hawthorn Lanes, Danny Wiseman nearly perfect en route to a championship match victory over Walter Ray Williams Jr. He threw 9 straight strikes to start the match and would beat Walter Ray 277 to 237. With that victory, Wiseman reached the 10 title plateau needed for Hall of Fame eligibility after retirement. What a day for Danny Wiseman in Chicagoland last year. We have seen neither Walter Ray Williams Jr. nor Danny Wiseman on 3 shows yet. The guys remaining in this show, though, the Chief Brian Himmler with a win over Parker Bohn III to the final, and the left-hander Mike Scroggins, a rematch of last week's matchup with Mika Koivuniemi. Right now, Mike Scroggins joined by our Randy Peters.
Dave Ryan, last year Mike Scroggins only made 1 telecast, but Mike, this year we're only into the 3rd week, and you've made back-to-back shows. What's your secret?
Well, I imagine I'm bowling my brother out here, so I always beat him. But really, this is a do-or-die year, and I said if I'm going to make it out here, I got to bowl good this year.
Well, speaking of do-or-die, Mike, you're our last left-hander standing. The righties are averaging a combined 257.5. What do you have to do to take down Mika?
I might trip him or spit in his thumb hole or something. I don't know. Do something to him.
Thanks, Mike. Good luck. Dave, back to you.
Well, you never know, Randy, what strategy might just pay off. We talked about gamesmanship. Sometimes just crazy things like that could pay off against Mika Koivuniemi, who is as focused as they come. He is not nearly as comedic a gentleman. The reference to Mike's brother, his twin brother Mark, who is the '93 PBA Rookie of the Year, and Mike and Mark are golf competitors. Apparently in Amarillo, Texas, their hometown. It's pretty fierce. Good start. Mike Scroggins on lane 9.
I think Mike and Mark pretty much compete in everything.
Mika Koivuniemi. Brilliant in the wild card match. Victory over the left-hander Patrick Allen. And I'm with you. I'm very interested to see how, with 3 lefties now, the oil responds to Scroggins. Not a perfect ball, but he'll take the break. Our Baby Ruth real deal matchup, Randy.
Mike Scroggins with a higher average right here. Look at that spare conversion percentage. Mika's is going down because of the missed 10-pin. Both guys playing similar lines, Dave Ryan. Mika firm from out on the right. Mike Scroggins firm and out from the left.
Look at the improvement for Mika Koivuniemi. Spare conversion rate.
Because he's not trying to hook the ball as much and he's going straighter. When he does miss, he leaves himself something he can make.
Another break. Not flush in the pocket, but he'll take it gladly.
You know, in his first match, we saw every shot from Mika go high flush. The first 2 shots to start this match, that light Wally mixer.
Mika told us in the offseason he really committed himself mentally. A lot of mental focus drills. Whereas Mike Scroggins had a little surgical procedure, the LASIK procedure, to help his vision. Left eye is still 20/40. His right eye is a perfect 20/20. He may try to have a modification made to the left to get himself up to 20/20 there as well. But he said it really has helped him a great deal. And the victories in match play so far for him.
Yeah, it was only taking the distance in the one match against Brad Angelo. Really gained a lot of confidence from last week.
39 years old from Amarillo, Texas. Wife Melanie, sons Ross, Will, and baby Maggie are watching back home. Ross is a baseball player. His fall ball team lost in the playoffs, actually. He's a first baseman. Yesterday, they were eliminated, but Mike said he had a great season. One time on TV last year, that was it for him.
Watch the footing here. He slips. Normally, when you lose balance to the foul line, you're going to pull it.
Takes care of the 4-7. He lost in Detroit to eventual winner Walter Ray Williams Jr. and took home $10,000. Already back-to-back shows. Other scores from the Miller High Life Open here in Vernon Hills, Illinois. Final results, match play, which is round of 32, best of 7 this year all the way through in match play. Shreds the rack again.
Doing what he does best, keeping the ball on line and in play.
Is he a much different player from last year?
I think he is. He played the lanes the same way last week, and he's playing the same this week. 2 different patterns. The first week he played out. He's just doing what he does best. He's keeping it nice and simple. Down and in.
Saw our own Joe Ciccone there, number 24. Congrats to him. One of several active PBA bowlers, including our Randy Peterson, who are involved in our TV crew every week. Another strike ball for Mika Koivuniemi, and the Big Fin has got 4 in a row to begin this match.
Watch the head pin. It's going to go to the sidewall like somebody slapped it silly. Look at it come flying across. Speaking of confidence, Mika made back-to-back telecasts as well. He said, you know, last year Danny Wiseman finished second to Boston, then went on to win the next week, which was right here. Mika looking to do the same thing.
That hard into the pocket nicely for Mike Scroggins, who has never in his career made back-to-back TV shows until now. He told us last night what an incredible relief that has been for him, and he learned so much about his experience as we see the back-to-back stat. The last player was Paul Fleming last year in Dallas and Orlando. Both Mika and Mike Scroggins, who face off again in the semifinals.
You know, as high as the scoring pace was this week, we still only had 6 300 games. So don't kid yourself. This is not a league pattern or a house shot. You know, back home where I live in South Florida, they have 6 300 games in one night. That's on a house shot.
By the way,
these are the greatest players in the world. Steady Eddie, Mike Scroggins. Perfect balance on that shot and a perfect result.
Speaking of South Florida, congratulations to the Marlins and all their fans like yourself.
Thanks.
What a World Series win that was. Talk about unexpected victories. Mika is expecting a victory. With the way he's bowling, he told us last night, mental focus, breathing exercises, and he's taken up running as well. This morning, he was out there for a 30-minute jog. Didn't see you out there with us.
I don't know. It was a bit early for me.
It was cold, but I loved it. And Mika's really taken a lot from the jogging, too. Helps his physical and mental state. So he looks different, approaches different, and he has been on fire. Looks for a 6-bagger to begin this match. Semis with Scroggins. 10 pin.
And that was 10 consecutive strikes dating back to the last match. And of course, when you put that graphic up, what's going to happen next? Ring in 10. It's like me saying he's going to strike on this ball, then he leaves a ring in 10.
He whiffed on one earlier. We saw Parker Bohn III miss 2 straight to finish out a tough day for him. That's the 10 pin, and away you make it. And Mika's got a little sarcastic smile. He says, Nekamin in finish. That's goodbye to that 10 pin. And with plenty of fan support here in Chicagoland, he hopes for just his 3rd career title. It's emotional. PBA Tour on ESPN continues. '85th Tour event in this great state of Illinois. The 2nd straight at Vernon Hills. First goes back in this state to 1962 Argo, Illinois, when Dick Weber won that event. which leads us to the Days Inn on the road. Got the Pepsi Open next week in Grand Rapids, of course, for all looking forward to the Dexter Tournament of Champions, Uncasville, Connecticut, the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort, and some regional events to talk about in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Monroe, in addition to Waynesboro, Virginia senior event, all coming up. Talked last week about the big brace that Mike Scroggins uses. That's new this year. We got a good look at it there.
Just solidifies his wrist. He keeps him from flopping around, keeps his hand in one position. All he has to do is make sure the ball gets to the bottom of the swing the same time every time. Hello.
We'll take a break.
Same break that Brian Himmler caught in the last match, Dave. Trip 2 for Brian Himmler. This is the trip 3. A little bit light. Here comes the head pin. Think he likes this? Oh, yeah. You know, we talked a little bit about Mika playing the same line he played last week, and talking with Mike Scroggins last night. He hasn't moved his feet from last week either. All he's done is changed equipment. Gone the equipment that rolls sooner with less down the lane reaction.
It's been 184 shows since Mike Scroggins has won. 1992, Sacramento, California. It's been that long for him. So we talked about the incredible drought with Himmler. The same goes certainly for Mike Scroggins. Really all 5 of the bowlers today. Long droughts without wins by their standards. Mika has just been roaring through the competition today. Close match here. Another big strike. 7 of 8 frames in this semifinal.
One pin match, and because of what Mika's doing, I really don't see any mistakes coming his way soon. The only thing that Mika could possibly do to get him in trouble would be to overthrow it. That ball there was perfect. He liked it. Stay within himself, make good shots, make them straight.
Mac's numbers are way up there. Strike here, he's up 11 pins. Looking for yet another strike. You heard it. Kesta, that means hold and finish. Not a huge football fan is Mika Koivuniemi from Finland, but the rest of us are. Priest Holmes, Dante Hall, the KC Chiefs hoping to remain undefeated. They host the Buffalo Bills. Bills and Chiefs tonight on ESPN 8:30 Eastern Time. Also available in stunning high definition on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator on DirecTV, the Dish Network today. Right now, exciting business to finish here in Chicagoland, and that's a tough split of 4-6-10.
Got it in. The ball doesn't hold pocket. Right through the face. Got the great break on the left lane. This is the bad break. You got to get the ball over here. Barely nudge the 6. Hopefully it travels into the 4.
Can he do it? No. 4 stands. Open frame. In a match that has been, to this point, near perfect for reach. That could be devastating. Down 28 now. Making a bid for a second straight finals appearance. He lost last week to Norm Duke in Kansas City. .197 to 194. Great spare in the 10th from Norm. Big strike.
Yeah, he's really disgusted with the shot he threw on the right lane. Comes back and makes the shot that he needed to make. He can strike out for 243. Unfortunately, Mika Koivuniemi going to 249 pace. Again, Mika needs to stay within himself, play his game, and his game is a direct line to the 1-3 pocket.
With his wife Lena, daughter Ida, 10 years old, watching closely. Big strike. They've never seen him bowl in person, and now Scroggins.
You can really tell when a guy's got it going on. They make what we call foul line adjustments. If the ball is going to be left of target for a right-hander, they throw the thumb down or they kill the hit. If it's going to be a little right of target, they give it a little more gas to get the ball to come back, and Mika's doing that. I watched him do it last week. I watched him do it the first week. He's doing it right now.
All of his adjustments have paid off. On lane 9.
I'm not your brother.
Wow, a little bit high. With his daughter and wife watching for the first time ever in a TV show, they know that 4.5-hour drive this morning. Left at 5 in the morning from Ann Arbor here to Chicagoland was well worth it. Changed time zones and everything.
I just hope they remember to move the clock back an hour. Get here an hour early.
No break there in the 7-pin. But it's okay. He is advanced to the final. And Mike Scroggins says, well, now it comes up.
Right. And Mika said when he got done during that first strike of the 10th, he went over to Mike Scroggins and said, I'm not your brother.
As in Brother Mark. His twin brother, older by a few minutes, we're told. That's how you take care of a 7-pin. Second straight week, Mika Koivuniemi. Major Mika, they call him, because his only 2 career titles have been in majors so far. A high five for his daughter, Ida. And there's wife, Lena, as well. She's a physical therapist in Ann Arbor, big Michigan football fan. She likes the game. They've been to the big house to watch Michigan play. Michigan had a big victory in Ann Arbor yesterday over Purdue. Live about 10 minutes from
I don't know when it'll be, but it'll.
the UM campus. Spare there. Barry Merrick from Miller High Life, senior brand manager. Glad to have him here. Title sponsor to this great event. Second straight year we're at Hawthorn Lanes in Chicagoland. With his 40-lane center. Great week, Mike Scroggins. Back-to-back shows for the first time in his career. He will fall short of a title. That's because Major Mika has just been rolling over everyone today. Patrick Allen, Scroggins go down to Mika Koivuniemi. He says, Nekamin, goodbye, and finish to Scroggins.
Welcome back to Hawthorn Lanes here in Vernon Hills, Illinois. Just a stone's throw from Chi-Town. Tonight, it's Priest Holmes, Dante Hall, and the Kansas City Chiefs as they hope to remain undefeated as they host the Buffalo Bills. It's the Bills versus the Chiefs tonight on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern, and also available in stunning high definition on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or DirecTV, the Dish Network today.
We saw 10-year-old Ida a moment ago rooting on her dad, Mika Koivuniemi, head-to-head with Brian Himmler. And Randy, let's check in with the Geico Direct Championship recap.
In our wild card match, it was Mika Koivuniemi defeating Patrick Allen by the score of 257 to 203. Mika's 10 strikes were too much for Patrick Allen. And in semifinal number 1, it was Brian Himmler, the Chief, defeating Parker Bohn III by the score of 258 to 212. Parker Bohn III was just out-bowled today by Brian Himmler. And as you just saw in semifinal number 2, it was Mika Koivuniemi defeating Mike Scroggins by the score of 268 to 223. Mika is just steamrolling over everyone in his path.
The Geico Direct Championship recap. 3 total titles between these bowlers. Combined, it's been 125 tournaments since they've won. It's got to break somewhere. Head-to-head, Himler, Koivuniemi next. Last week at the Greater Kansas City Classic from Blue Springs, Missouri, Norm Duke in a fierce championship match battle with a big fin, Mika Koivuniemi. With a pressure on in the 10th frame, Duke picked up a tough 1-2-8-10 spare. It would be just enough to beat Mika. It was Norm Duke's 21st career PBA title and earned himself the ever-important exemption for next year. So Norm Duke is exempt. The field of 64 for next year. Mika Koivuniemi, you came so close, now a chance to take that spot head-to-head with Brian Himmler. Your family is here watching. Are they more nervous or are you right now?
I think they are more nervous than I am right now, but I'm still, my heart pumping.
Best of luck to you.
Thanks.
Brian, it's been 93 events since you've won a PBA title. Your thoughts here? Nervous, focused?
I'm ready to get it over with. You know, one more game. Of course, it's been a long wait, but I feel confident on the lanes, and it's going to be a great match. We're both going to bowl great.
Two power bowlers, Randy, head-to-head. Himmler, Koivuniemi in the finals.
A lot up for grabs in this title match. $40,000 to the winner. Somebody's guaranteed $20,000 and a lot of points. $20,000 to the runner-up. All of those points trying to get to that elite field for next season. Brian Himmler will start the match, which means he will finish the match on the right lane.
There's that rev rate and the power we talked about. Good start. And the chief, Brian Himmler.
Don't consider Brian Himmler one-dimensional anymore. He's proven it to you before your eyes. How nice and straight and direct he can play the lanes. Worked for about a month prior to the start of the tour to work on that straight game. And it's really paying off.
Mika told us last night, wasn't sure he was going to make it. Barely qualified. He's ready to pack up and move on to the next stop instead. Into the finals. His family has driven about 5 hours from his hometown of Ann Arbor, Michigan to watch Baby Ruth real deal matchup here, Randy.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a tighter matchup. All the numbers are pretty much the same. Mika with just a bit of a higher spare conversion percentage. The big difference, Brian Himmler, 5 more games, but this is going to be a close match. Just take a look at the numbers.
32 since his last title. Both were majors. Ten-pin for him. A lot of international experience. The first foreign-born bowler to win the U.S. Open and the Masters. He's won titles in Finland, of course the U.S., China, Thailand, Malaysia, Holland, Denmark, among others. He traveled to Denmark, Qatar, Japan, and Sweden 3 times in the off-season to compete. But not to his native Finland. Hasn't been there for a couple of years. 10-pin. Does the international competition help him?
Oh, I think it does, because the lane conditions internationally tend to be on the tough side. They get pretty dry, pretty tough. You know, part of Mika's style is because of his European background, the front part of the lane being really dry. That's where he learned how to loft the bowling ball so the ball wouldn't read the front part of the lane.
Himmler bids for a double to begin this match on lane 10. Flush. You like that one. All the bowlers have their eye not only on the season-ending World Championship, but the TOC as well. 32-player field. That's the last 28 different winners. Right now, Kurt Pilon is on the bubble. September of '01, his last win.
Brian Himmler, the only person in this match that can knock Kurt Pilon out of the Tournament of Champions by virtue of the win.
Another nice ball from the Chief.
Brian got the ball on the right lane in a pitch, and it held, and he was real happy about that. And this one does the exact same thing. Perfect 1-3. Nice reaction. He knows it's game on.
30 years old from Cincinnati. Ranked 38th at the end of last year was Brian Himmler. Mika looking for his second strike. 3 frames. He's got it. Not many semifinalists who had the bowl in the wild card have won. Last was the winner from last year in Kansas City. Patrick Healy Jr. has not made a show yet this year. He was the defending champ there before Norm Duke unseated him a week ago today. It is not easy to take that route.
It's an extra game you don't want to have to bowl.
Kind of surprising me. We haven't seen more winners from that spot yet, though, since match play started. That can change today drastically. Great look, lane level at the approach. Mika Koivuniemi blisters the rack again. Great start for each. Mika down 10 pins. When we come back to the Miller High Life Open, we will conclude this final. The storm is coming, perhaps. Brian Himmler trying to win for the first time in 93 events. Exciting conclusion next. The first ever head-to-head matchup between Brian the Chief Himmler and Mika Koivuniemi on TV. Shaping up to be a classic 10-pin lead for Brian Himmler right now. Let's check in with the Uniroyal Tire Rock and Roll this week, Randy.
Patrick Allen's going to try to convert this by sliding it over. He catches too much of that 3-pin. Watch it come out. He makes it the hard way, and he says, yeah, I'm rocking and rolling now.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that kind of pickup off the back of the return that way. Back wall and take out the 7.
You know, actually, that's really the only way you can make the 7-10 split by that happening.
Patrick fell short, though, to Mika Koivuniemi in that first match. Back to Himmler, looking for a 4th straight. He gets it. 10 goes down late. 4-bagger for the Chief. 20-pin lead.
Brian Himmler using a medium reactive bowling ball. It's really good on medium to light oil lanes and on a 37-foot pattern. That's a perfect matchup. Remember, in a title match, or not in a title match, but in the 7th game of his second round, which was a round of 16, Brian Himmler bowled 300 to win that 7th game. He has the front 4.
Hook a little.
5-bagger.
Yeah, baby.
Tells the ball to hook a little, and it does just that. Special thanks to Barb and Bill Spigner, Hawthorn Lanes co-proprietors. Great host to us again this year for a 2nd straight year. And to Dad's left, there is Robbie Spigner, who won that scholarship award, helping out his tuition at IU, Indiana. He's a Hoosier. Triple majoring in finance, computer information systems, and business process management. Trying to process a strike there was Mika. 10-pin stands. Robbie, a 3.74 GPA, too.
Well, he's a smart kid, and he's a great bowler. Last year here, he almost made the telecast, losing to the eventual champion, Danny Wiseman. And Bill Spigner will probably hate me for saying this, but he doesn't want to be labeled as a swing guru, but he worked with Parker this week. I've been in kind of a slump. He worked with me for 2 minutes and got my swing straightened out.
I saw that last night.
He's a phenomenal coach.
Numbers on the single pin conversion. Mika, remember, left one in his matchup with Allen in the wild card. But he takes care of that 10-pin. Drama and pressure. It all cranks up now. Works on a spare. Needs to rally now. 10-pin again.
It appears to me that the oil on the lane has moved down the lane towards the pins just a pinch, and it's starting to affect Mika's carry. He's got 5 balls in the pocket and 3 strikes rather, to show for it. 6 balls in the pocket, 3 strikes, carry percentage 50%. That won't win a championship under these conditions.
And Himmler's got the 5-bagger going. There's the 10-pin. Perfect game so far for Brian Himmler, who does have the 1-300. We mentioned round of 16, Tommy DeLukes Jr. earlier this week.
One of only 6 players, even though we had high scores. Again, not a league shot. You don't have just unlimited dry to the right and a bunch of oil in the middle of the lane. You still have to make quality shots. But when these guys make quality shots, they keep it within a 3-board area. And this week, it's going to hit the pocket. Look out.
And it will carry there. 6 will stand. So the strike streak ends for the Chief. Not by much.
This ball was about a board left of the last shot he threw on the right lane. But again, you don't have that big giant buildup. That ball does not hold line. Almost went through the nose. Catches a great break, only leaving the 6 pin.
Could have been a lot worse. Came in higher, right? We'll try again. You know about the pressure he faces right now. What's it like?
Well, right now you're not thinking about pressure. You're thinking about staying within yourself, doing what you know. He took a step back, make sure he converted the spare, keep the ball in play, and just keep striking. You got to keep pressure on your opponent.
And some reason to smile. All bowlers aiming toward the 64-player exempt field. The pressure is on each and every week, and as the guys told us last night, Randy, 7-8 events in, you hadn't won. You're the same with you. I mean, wow. It's going to be incredible drama in that last half of the season for those who haven't won.
Absolutely. Depending how the first half of the season went for you, I mean, you could really see a lot of guys squeezing it at the bottom of the swing.
Yes!
Big strike.
Yes!
Brian Himmler himself said, you know, for a while there, especially last year, you couldn't crowbar it off of his hand. He had early success the first 2 weeks. He's free swinging right now. Against that much power with that bowling ball, those pins don't have a chance. He gets it into the squish zone, the light hit zone. It's just nothing but shrapnel. Now, Mika Koivuniemi needs to get on his horse, and he needs to start striking now.
The numbers through 7. As Randy said, it's got to happen for him now. And it does it. 3 standing. He's down 31 heading into that ball.
Like I said earlier, it looks like there's a bit of the oil's moved down the lane a bit, and it's causing Mika's ball to not finish quite as hard down the lane. 2 rules of thumb for Mika. He can either stay where he's at, throw it a little bit slower and give the ball a little bit more time to hook, or he can actually move right and go more direct and just jam it right in the 1-3.
Takes care of his mark. We will see if these two can make another show. For Mika, it'll be a 3rd straight next week. Grand Rapids, Michigan, the PBA Pepsi Open. The action starts, as always, at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 on the West Coast here on ESPN. Don't miss the best bowlers in the world from Grand Rapids. For more, log on to ESPN.com. We head to the Eastern Time Zone. We'll be there for a while until TOC wraps up the first half of the year. 3-week break this year. Then we hit the West Coast on the PBA Tour. On lane 9, big ball from Mika.
See how that ball picked up and how it finished strong in the 1-3? Looked a bit softer. The ball read the lane better. And he needs to do that the rest of the match.
Last win way back the start of '99 in New Mexico. He told us last night something he thinks about all the time. Knows he's got the ability.
That's
and
a
he's
good
had
one.
a great year.
Yeah, baby!
He
Come
knew
on.
it right off the release. 22nd in Omaha, 8th in Kansas City last week, and it looks like he's en route to a title today.
And that shot there really told me a lot about what's going through Brian Himmler's mind. Went high on that lane the last time he was on the right lane. Gets the good break, only leaving the 6 pin. He came back with an absolute perfect shot. The match is well in hand. He needs to stay within himself, take deep breaths, focus, and just bury the next 3 shots.
Foundation frame had to hurry. Came in light there. The 2, the 4, the 10 up in a tough split. Coming to you from Hawthorn Lanes in Chicagoland. Miller High Life over. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, our entire crew. Live coverage continuing here on ESPN of the PBA Tour. WBPA Classic Tour. Billiards coming up next.
Brian Himmler's probably going to try to convert this, but it's very important that he gets at least 9. If he gets at least 9, no matter what Mika does, he can't shut out Brian Himmler. Big mistake, in my opinion.
Why?
He just lost an extra 2 pins in count, okay? If Mika Koivuniemi strikes out, he can shut out Brian Himmler. The best Brian Himmler can do... Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Brian Himmler can still win by doubling in the 10th frame.
But still, potentially devastating open frame. And the opens have really been so key today in all of our matches.
He still lost count. If he would have saved the count, all he would have had to do was fill 20. If Mika strikes out, now he has to double.
On strike foundation frame, big one. 10 pin will get some help. Oh, no. Messenger just missed grazing the 10.
Well, this Messenger doesn't get all the way over, and it's all but over for Mika Koivuniemi. If he doubles in the 10th, or if he strikes out, if he makes the spare here, he'll shoot 215. Brian Himmler needs 4 pins to win the title.
Takes out the 10. As Randy pointed out, looks to be too late. Max score, there you have it. 242. The open we just saw from Himler a moment ago.
Always got to make it exciting.
Well, the flat 10 really cost Mika there in the 9th frame. It cost him last week's title against Norm Duke. It's going to cost him the title here.
There's that trip 10. He needed that in the prior frame desperately and didn't get it.
And it looks like his ball reaction's better on the left lane, and that's why he chose to finish on that lane. Best he can do is 215. Brian just needs to stay behind the foul line to be a winner again, Dave.
The first time since 1999, beginning of that year. Amazing. Will be exempt for next year. And knock someone off the bubble with Kurt Pilon. Mika Koivuniemi, bid for a 3rd title, will apparently fall short. Pilon, Arnold, Allen. We saw Patrick today. He's on the verge now. That slot will move up because Pilon will be out if Himmler finishes the job. Brian is in to the TOC field in December, Uncasville, Connecticut. In the pocket, Koivuniemi. 215.
Victory lap! Victory lap!
And the big crowd is certainly rooting on the Chief. Just 4 pins. He does it. For the first time since January of '99, the Chief is a champ.
Miller time, baby!
Brian Himmler has done it in Vernon Hills. In one fell swoop, Randy, he's into the TOC. He's exempt for next year. What a week for the Chief.
It's really a life-changing week for Brian after all he went through last year. He doesn't have to worry about the elite field next year. He's locked. He's back in the Tournament of Champions. What a turnaround for Brian Himmler.
Yeah!
Remember last week he said to the fans back in Cincinnati, he's back.
The folks at the Cherry Grove Bowling Center are going nuts as we speak because Brian Himmler has done it. He takes care of the big Finn, Mika Koivuniemi, and his parents are so pleased. Brad and Kathy